What's up guys? Welcome back to the review space. Today I want to talk about my top 10 most disappointing video games ever. That's right, these are the games that let me down and just underwhelmed me, disappointed me. I thought it was going to be good, better, the best, whatever it was. My expectations were not met. Number 1. Mercenaries 2 World in Flames came out in 2008. It was a multi-plat game, 360 and PS3. Pseudo GTA clone that fails to compete with other open-world third-person shooter type of games. This was a sequel to the well-received Playground of Destruction, the first Mercenaries. This is nothing but a boring, tedious romp in the jungle with generic controls, derivative characters, and redundant missions. It didn't look good, the gameplay wasn't that hot, I just felt disappointed and underwhelmed. Number 2. Assassin's Creed from 2007, that's right, the original Assassin's Creed being one of the most promising next-gen games of the year. Altair's debut is way too repetitive and lacked mission variety, resulting in an underwhelming campaign that got old after about 45 minutes. I mean, yeah, you could finish it from beginning to end, but after the first maybe hour or two, you can understand that's going to be the rest of the game. And it wasn't that great. Number 3. Tekken 6 came out in 2009. While the gameplay is still solid, Tekken 6 features mostly crappy level designs, an uninspired soundtrack, and overall felt lower quality than its superior predecessors. Number 4. Mario Kart Double Dash came out in 2003. This was a highly anticipated sequel to the legendary Mario Kart series, particularly Mario Kart 64. Double Dash featured monotonous and rehashed level designs, more punishing difficulty that could be downright unfair, and less than stellar music compared to previous games released on the older systems. Number 5. Lego Batman, the video game, came out in 2008. For some reason, I had high expectations before playing Lego Batman. Was it because of the acclaimed reputation of the Star Wars and Indiana Jones Lego games? Was it because of the Batman license? No matter what, this is a very linear and simplistic children's game that could have used better camera angles and presentation. Number 6. Donkey Kong 64 came out in '99. When DK64 was announced, I was very excited for a 3D installment in the platforming series that was supposed to take Donkey Kong Country to the next level. Not only was this an underwhelming, disappointing pile of monkey turds, I felt buyer's remorse for wasting over $90 for this overpriced cartridge and expansion pack. The gameplay was way too formulaic, multiplayer was weak, and the side-scrolling charm of the 2D games on the Super Nintendo were missing. DK64 is a perfect example of quantity over quality. Number 7. Star Wars Force Unleashed came out in 2008. Star Wars games, they get a lot of hype before they come out, and everyone gets excited. I think this is because the movie prequels have been consistently awful, and we look for something to redeem the franchise. As a fan of Revenge of the Sith for the PS2, I thought Force Unleashed would have been an improved version, but no. The lightsaber mechanics have been dumbed down, and the characters are on par with cardboard cutouts. Number 8. Killzone came out in 2004. This was promised to be as a Halo killer for the PS2. Killzone 1 was not a horrible shooter, but had its share of problems. Aimless stages, drabby and colorless environments, poor AI, repetitive audio, and shallow multiplayer left much to be desired. Fortunately, its successors on the PSP and PS3 fixed a lot of these problems. Number 9. Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles came out in 2005, I believe in 2006 in North America though. Most Naruto games that came out for the PS2 were fighting games, but Uzumaki Chronicles was supposed to be this cool beat-em-up style adventure game with a storyline. However, the gameplay was repetitive, tedious, and quickly got very monotonous, dated graphics and lackluster soundtrack does not do the Naruto series justice. This was a disappointing title for fans of the TV show. Number 10. Smackdown vs. Raw 2010. Came out in 2009. I generally enjoyed the Smackdown vs. Raw series, and 2010 had a lot of promise, and they added a bunch of new features. Most of them I actually enjoyed. Unfortunately, what killed the game was the horrible camera angles that they switched from the previous games. During gameplay in the ring, it would constantly switch back and forth. So if you head out the ring, it would switch. So when you're trying to move forward, you're still pressing forward, but the camera angles would switch up, and now your character's going backwards. It was also significantly much easier and less challenging than the previous games because of the leveling up system. Alright, so that's my top 10 most disappointing video games. They just did not do it right for me. They were very underwhelming. They didn't meet my standards, expectations. They're not the worst games in the world, but they certainly could have been better.